Hi everyone, it's John Mitchell, and in the next video we're going to go through stakeholders. So a stakeholder is a person or group with a vested interest in a particular organisation. I've got that term vested highlighted because it's important that you put something like that in there. In the past, they just used to allow a person with or a group with an interest in a particular organisation, and a few years ago in the exam they said that that's not good enough, which was probably fair enough. So it's important you put that word vested in there so that they've got a real interest that is going to impact them in the organisation. So there are lots of different stakeholders we could go through, but here are some of the more common ones. So firstly, we've got shareholders, and they're what you need to understand with these stakeholders. You need to be able to describe what they are, but you also need to be able to explain their interest in the organisation. A shareholder are generally looking for a share in profit through dividends or capital gains. So they want their return on investment, the value of their investment, to increase. Managers are employed to direct the company on behalf of its owners, and they're obviously there for, they want ongoing employment and they want to be involved in decisions. Employees have a stake in the organisation's performance because they're looking for fair pay and good working conditions, as well as ongoing work. So they want job security, want a secure job. Suppliers, they have a financial stake in the ongoing success of the organisation. They're the ones that provide the goods to the organisation to ensure they can provide their goods or services to consumers. And really, they want to be paid on time. They want a good working relationship, an honest relationship with the organisation. Customers expect fair price and good quality, so that you don't have to go on and say they want the cheapest prices for the best quality. They know, most consumers know that that's not reasonable, but they want what's fair. So they want fair price and good quality products. There's some others that you can include there. As I said, there's lots of different ones, but I've got the community, unions, directors, governments, and probably anyone else you can think of that you think would be involved in a particular situation. So that is stakeholders, and what you need to be thinking of is, again, what's their actual interest, how they can impact the organisation, and what the organisation needs to take into consideration to their interest when they're making decisions. Because what can happen is there can be some conflict between what the different shareholders want. So for example, on the left hand side here, I've got a group of employees who have gone on strike, and I've got on the right hand side just a shareholders meeting. So just the two stakeholders, shareholders and employees. Now let's say that the employees want better wages. Obviously we went through their interests, and they want fair pay, good working conditions and ongoing job security. If they're entitled to fight for better wages, and that's okay, but what could happen is that may take money away from the shareholders. So the shareholders might say, well, we're not happy with that, we think they're being paid enough as it is, and so therefore there's a conflict in the interest that they both have. Now as a manager, you need to take that into consideration. Well, do we give the workers their pay rise? You might say yes, they deserve it. They've been working hard, and the cost of living has increased, so of course they deserve a pay rise. But then you've also got the shareholders to consider. Well, can we work out a way in which do we just give this the employees their money, and that may hurt the profits of the stockholders, who are essentially the ones employing the managers, because they're the ones that own the company. Or you might be able to work out a way where you can get both. So you might be able to trade off and say, well, we can increase the wages, but we want productivity gains, which may help improve profits and things like that. But that's where there can be some conflicting interests in between the varying different stakeholders. So it's important that you understand that there's conflicts between these stakeholders in terms of their interests, and because you could easily get a question like that on a SAC or an exam, and it's important that you're able to describe some different stakeholders and how they have conflicting views, and that obviously impacts the decisions that managers make. So for questions, activities, and more on today's topic, then come on over to teachingbubble.com.